What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jake from Citizen JV, and today I'm going to do a follow-up video on the Temporal Diver Easy Mode for Cronos The New Dawn. And the reason why I want to talk about this real quick is because I had a hard time with the hard difficulty alone itself before this new update came to this game. Now, granted, yes, I know that's the premise of it, that's the ideal of it, and it's the challenge of it, right? But either or, I really think when it comes to a game much like Cronos The New Dawn or any other games of that type of nature, when it comes to this type of game, or even Dead Space or any other game in this type of genre, there's no shame of playing a game on easy mode. There you go. I put the hammer down and vice versa. So, anyway, so much further ado, let's jump a little bit about this because I feel like this is where I want to get my point across. I always feel like that to where when I often play new games, I often like to play new games on easy mode because I want to get to know the entire crux of the game. I want to know the concept. I want to know the gameplay mechanics and so forth. So, obviously, a lot of people understand where I was going with that, so my apologies on that. So again, I think going into the Temporal Diver mode, basically the easy mode, as I previously stated, is that there is nothing wrong playing this game on this mode right now, okay? I'm actually having a lot better experimentation with this mode because it gives me the idea that not only did I play this game previous when this game initially came out with the only harder difficulty, and I was having such a hard time playing this game because I love this type of game. You know, I love these type of science fiction, over-the-shoulder games, much like Resident Evil, even like the newer ones, like Resident Evil 2 or 3 remakes, and the Resident Evil 4 remake, but that's besides the point with that game as well. So, again, I think going with the Temporal mode, or the Temporal Diver mode, easy mode for this game, what I'm saying is that there is nothing wrong playing this game on this mode right now. Because if you really want to get down to the crux of the game, to understand the gameplay mechanics, to understand how you want to play this game in general, by all means, play this game in Temporal Diver mode. Because again, like I said, you know, sorry for my repetition here, there's nothing wrong with it. And that is one thing I will dive a little bit more into this video as well. You know, playing games on easy in a matter of degree. So, let's jump right into that right now, okay? There is nothing wrong playing games on easy mode. You know, with me being a middle-aged 40-year-old guy, you know, and a gamer, I would say that I'm not saying I don't like playing games on hard mode, but the fact of the matter is, I have a difficulty spike when it comes to playing games either on easy, medium, or hard, okay? I do like playing games on easy or medium, or much like Elder Scrolls, you play it on easy, or apprentice, or adept, or expert, and journeyman, and master, right? You have all these different types of difficulties. So the reason why I made that type of comparison to that of, you know, Cronos The New Dawn, or other games of this type of nature, I do often feel like that when it comes to a game like Cronos, you know, this game actually deserves this Temporal Diver mode. It does. Because, like I said, again, if you really want to get into the game itself, you know, understand the story, get more invested into it, and vice versa, I'm going to tell you, man, this story in this game is amazing. It's very intriguing and very unique in a way. That's where I was trying to get to. And so that's why I'm saying when you want to play a game on easy mode, like I said again, this game really capitulates that to a certain degree to where what I mean by that is that it knows what it's doing. And then when a game knows what it's doing, when you're playing a game on easy mode, much like Cronos, you're getting to know everything. It's the systems, the mechanics of how you're going to defeat your enemies, and vice versa. And so that's why I'm saying, you know, and you know, what's interesting about this though too, because I recently got a comment from someone on my channel as well, on a video that I did recently about this game as well, and they said that they got some Dead Space vibes in there. Sorry about that. And he's not wrong, or that person's not wrong. because of the fact that this game does play like of a Dead Space. And that's another reason why I like this game so much, though, too, is because I grew up playing the original Dead Space series 1, 2, and 3. I thought 3 was excellent, but a lot of people didn't like it as much, but that's okay. But that's not the crux of this video, okay? The crux of this video is basically, like I said, talking about the temporal diver mode, doing a follow-up, and what I really think about why I think that this mode is important to not just gamers like me, but other gamers out there that are new to this type of franchise, that are new to this type of genre, and wanting to get to know more about the story and, not so much of the combat. And I will say the combat in this game is very good. I actually really like it quite a bit, but you do have to be tactile with your shots, because when you play this game, though, too, when you're using your weapons, much like the pistol or much like the shotgun, you have the ability to either do pot shots, pop, 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 right? Or you can use your shotgun and then you go kablama up close and personal, right? And so that's what I'm saying. You don't want to constantly do pop shots with your weapons, because you do have the ability to charge your weapons as well. And when you charge your weapons, you get a much more stronger impact. You get a stronger damage output from your weapons rather than just doing pot shots alone. And I love that type of feel, because you do feel that impact through your PlayStation controller. And I will say, like I said again, one more time here, this game is absolutely fantastic. I think with all the games combined, when it comes to this type of genre, it's a very difficult balance to know, well, I like this game better than Dead Space, or do I like Dead Space better than Cronos? And that's what I was going to say, though, too, is that when I first initially started this game as well, like I said again, I had a difficulty spike with this game. Not just because of the hard difficulty that this game initially came out with, but it was, for me, though, I'm not used to playing games on hard, and I know a lot of people. Some people will come into my comment section and say, "You're a pussy," or you're just like a simp or whatever. I mean, there are a lot of people that will say something, okay? But here's the thing. There is, like I said again, there is nothing wrong playing the game on easy. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But I will say, like I said again, not just because of the temporal diver mode, the easy mode for this game, but I really think that if you really want to play this game, get to know the story, get to know the mechanics, the gunplay, and vice versa, as I previously mentioned, sorry for the repetition, is that, like I said again, that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that. So what I was going to say, though, too, is that there are a lot of people in this world that will literally belittle you or chastise you for playing a game on easy. And you know what? I don't care what other people think about me, what games I play on easy or medium or hard. If this game was tailored to your playstyle, to where if you want to play it on easy, medium, or hard, by all means do that. I believe that that's on every single type of gamer out there that want that type of mode. And that's why I was saying with Cronos the New Dawn, to me, it just makes sense. Because like I said again, with my experience with the hard mode in this game, it was fun, but at the same time, it threw me out of the loop. And it threw me out of the gameplay experience. It threw me out of the story experience as well. And I'm just like, I literally said to myself, I can't do this right now. And from what I understand, before this update came out for this game, Temporal Diver, the easy mode, I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait for that update. And guess what? It finally arrived on Friday of last week. So again, if you really want to play this game on the Temporal Diver mode, easy mode for this game, like I said again, by all means, play it on that mode. Because like I said, you will have a better experience, not just with the story, not just with the combat, but with the whole entire world of the game of itself. And I think that's where, for me, I love that. Because I still get that immersion. And so all I can say here is, gentlemen, this is Jake from Citizen JV. You guys have a good rest of your week. Happy President's Day to all. Thank you for all your services and everything else in the past, present, and future. And you guys have a good rest of your week.